The president continues to break his own administration's rules, now flatly breaking the conventional doctor's orders to isolate while contagious. President Trump literally doing what everyone with COVID has been strictly told not to do, leaving home to go to work and thus endangering others. Trump has spent the afternoon at work in the Oval Office with 2 aides. The decision to violate the medical guidance is not a secret, with a Marine taking the traditional post outside the Oval Office door. You see it right here. In every administration, that's the universal sign the president is in. And the White House confirmed there was basically that he was working there a few minutes later, building on the chief of staff's comments today that Trump wanted to go to work regardless.
His schedule right now is fluid. We're looking at his prognosis from a health standpoint. He wanted to go to the Oval yesterday. If he decides to go to the Oval, we've got safety protocols there.
Medical experts are dubious because Trump has been breaking safety protocols before and after he got COVID. From the instantly infamous ride outside Walter Reed, which history may record as one of the most absurd actions by a president under hospital care ever, to the White House's failure to practice basic distancing and contact tracing to protect their own people, as now at least 18 people have COVID. New to the list, Stephen Miller, one of 3 aides who tested positive after this walk you see here to Marine One just last week. And today is exactly the time when these facts matter, when the record matters, when the powerful can be put under scrutiny so you can make up your own mind, make up your own vote. The administration's record on COVID takes center stage, of course, tonight as the leader of its COVID task force, Mike Pence, is debating Kamala Harris in just a few hours, with Pence's record as chairman of the COVID task force is sure to be a focal point. Joining me now to get into all of it is the Reverend Al Sharpton. He is the host of MSNBC's Politics Station. He's the founder of the National Action Network. And as many may recall, he has been on the debate stage himself before and knows what these high-pressure events are like and why they, we're told by many, are harder than they look. We're also joined by Dr. Jennifer Pena, a former White House doctor to Vice President Pence himself and a medical expert. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Rev, what is important in your view tonight, especially given the medical context that I just mentioned?
I think what is extremely important is that we're going to have the head of the president's coronavirus task force, the vice president, debating. And I think that he will have the disadvantage of having to do that while his president, who appointed him to that task and who is his running mate, has violated every coronavirus protocol that has been announced, has made a mockery of being in quarantine or even in isolation by going on a joyride around the hospital on one day and then leaving and making a dramatic entry into the exterior steps, stepping up the exterior steps outside the White House, and then tearing off the face mask, and then going to work today. I don't know how you could have had a worse set of circumstances for Vice President Pence to have to go on that debate stage tonight and face a prosecutor, a trained prosecutor, when I've just given you the bill of particulars, how to nail him early, often, and all night long.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.